Hey, Brambro here with some aircraft carrier survival. I was just playing along here, bopping along in my Yorktown, doing some missions, and got attacked on the strategic map by an enemy fleet. It's not a mission, just kind of a random open strategic map event, and I thought, let's record it. So here we are. And the battle just started. Why is he not eligible? Because he moved. I moved him in the island, setting up my... Here's my island settings. The DC buttons here. Efficiency and damage control here. Swapped over and gave myself two... Yeah, airstrike here. So I've got 3 airstrikes. Because I've got 2 airstrikes in this room. Plus 1 carry defense, of course. I've got the shorten the escort's abilities cooldown by 25%. That is primarily for to shorten the cooldown on Saipan's cap, if I need that. Efficiency and air department, of course, I pretty much always go with that. Got an extra DC team going, prioritizing repairing fighters, and which could change, but that's where it's at for now. And I do need the one identify target because I know where that fleet is. These things pretty much always start you within detection range. But I need to identify it first, which means I can't plan my strike yet. So I'm just now spotting the initial aircraft on deck, and no matter what the composition of that force is, I know I'm going to want at least 2 torpedo bombers, because I've probably never sent a strike, not a full strike anyway, that did not use anvil. And I know I'm going to need at least 1 fighter because I really like to use jinking. And then these dive bombers in front, I brought them up last, are to do that initial identify mission, which we will be popping off shortly because it's going to be dawn in 25 minutes. Okay. You have to highlight the target fleet for identify and airstrike missions. It would sure, like if I try to lead them a little bit, it doesn't work. So I'm just trying to get it right here on this forward edge to lead as much as I can. Okay, yeah, that fleet's recon range doesn't really matter. I started the mission detected. Well, not the mission, the battle. And these things are worth doing because you still get just like a mission, you still get the renown and the command points and the medals out of them. And I do want the medals. I had gotten the crew pretty much all trained up. All my guys had the 2 promotions and had 2 badges apiece. And as far as I can tell, I don't think there's anything beyond that. And so rather than just not have any guys to put medals into, I got some new guys. Some of my experienced crew are back in Pearl Harbor. Because it is possible. It is possible to have crew members killed, to lose them permanently. So I figure I would train some more guys up and have some spares. I also got a couple of new officers. Now that I realize that you know, with the bigger carriers, you can have more than one order at once. I talked about this a little bit in the last episode. I think I kind of messed up a little, just a little bit in some of my officer development. So I bought a couple more guys. Okay, heavy carrier, light carrier destroy. Okay. All right, so we will probably see some fairly decent air attacks coming in, and we can now plan our strike, our first strike. Okay, the modifiers. Attack of all maneuvers using torpedo bombers. That's a pretty big hit. Defensive maneuver forward, minus 30%. An attack and defense of all offensive maneuvers, 10%. Well, those all hurt, but compared to some of the other ones, it could have been worse. I'll just put it that way. Okay, I like putting anvil attack in slot 5 because with this particular modifier, it's kind of hold on a minute. Yeah, it's kind of self-buffing. If you're going to buff a plane, then buff the one with the highest attack, and that's this guy. So he's buffing himself. My next highest attack, I got the 10 fish. It's fully upgraded. Attack of all other torpedo bomber maneuvers plus 8. Put that guy in slot 1. Because then we can use jinking to buff both of their attacks. And now we need to build in some defense. And I'm kind of thinking bulwark seems an obvious choice. Well, this Loughbury, this is one of the new cars. I haven't used this one before. Attack of this maneuver plus 10 if placed between defensive maneuvers. It's got an 8 defense. That's pretty good. And do I have room to put a defensive card? Yes, defensive bombing, which also carries a defensive modifier. $72.40. 1 to 2 targets destroyed. 3 to 4 damaged. That is not bad for a first strike. What happens if I change the target? Get one of these carriers 0 to 1. Definitely damage, but not destroy. Let's go ahead and take away this torpedo bottomer nerf from the submarine. That's a 1 to 2. That's a 0 to 1. That's a 1 to 2. Let's do that. So that is a 115. Right. Oh, good. We're undetected at the moment. 115, so I need to bring up 3 torpedo bombers and 1 dive bomber.
Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck.
Haven't upgraded all the planes, but I did upgrade to the Wildcat fighters and the Avenger torpedo bombers. I've chosen paint schemes so that I can easily tell from way up here which one's which. The really dark ones are the torpedo bombers. The yellow wings are the fighters, and I've got a light blue color scheme for the dive bombers.
Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck.
And that'll change when I upgrade to the Dauntlesses. Yeah, I'm leaving.
Issue a dive bomber squadron on
What
the
is
deck.
this 2-hour 58? That's a glitch because it's empty. It should read 00, right? I would think. But I'm not going to turn it back on. Even though we're undetected at the moment, that will not last very long. So I'm going to leave this open for defense. Oh, the strike's ready. Let's go.
Start engines.
That's a lot of torpedo bombers.
On my way.
See, this one says 00. Why not that one? Yeah, we're detected again, so stand by for incoming attacks. I'm going to keep the deck clear, though, so that we can mount another airstrike just as quickly as we get a report back. That wasn't good. And we got a lot of banged up torpedo bombers. Thinking about, so I have a total, I think, of 9 torpedo bombers, one of which is airborne. So I think I've got 4 torpedo bombers available in the hangar bay. Only lost the one, we just need to fix up the others. Okay, let's slow this down a second. Yeah, I got 4 torpedo bombers. All right, let's prep the next strike. Again. Yeah, I'll go with the 10 fish. I'll go with the jinking. I can't use any more torpedo bombers, though. That's it. Let's make sure we get the light carrier at least. Well, no, let's target the hit. No, I want to make sure we get the light carrier. I could highlight this, and we could get the 1 to 2, which means it wouldn't be the heavy carrier. And we'd sink the one ship. But if it, if it's randomized, it'll probably, it might be the destroyer. I want to make sure that it's a light carrier that dies, because that would lessen the attacks coming in, I would think. I hope it works that way. Okay, so we are using 5 squadrons, so we've got room for 2 more squadrons, which could mean 1 bulwark card. Which looks pretty good. What about if we put bulwark here? Some pretty awesome attack. Not much defense. 125 attack, 37. Okay. Defense of the previous maneuver plus 150. And I can't use left brace circle. That's a torpedo. What's my best defensive option? I think that's the winner there. And that is a 1, 2, 4. Let's do it.
Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck.
That's it. That's all our torpedo bombers. Okay.
Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a dive bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a dive bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a fighter squadron on the deck. Stand by to start engine.
Admiral, the section below deck has malfunctioned.
Okay, we got some things going on here. I want to get my DC back up.
Awaiting orders. Roger that.
And that was a malfunction. Okay, so we got a guy on that, I think. As soon as this strike is off, got to get a couple more dive bombers up here for this submarine.
Better get to it.
Leaving the defense slot open. Okay.
Admiral, the section below deck has malfunctioned.
Yeah,
Send
guys
DC
coming.
Teams now.
These planes will hang in the Marshall stack for a while. I've got time to launch that submarine flight. Oh, I still need to recover identify target guy. That's actually good. That's dive bombers. Isn't it? Yeah. And we've got 5 hours for the ASW flight, so we will pop to recovery. Because I don't really have the aircraft, the attack aircraft, to send a good final strike anyway. Speed this up a little bit. Spot for recovery, good. Man, I barely got that guy.
Aircraft.
Okay, and the airstrike waiting for recovery. I need this one dive bomber for the ASW mission. I'm just going to clear the deck, though, of these guys. And put everybody down in the hangar bay. Because I think that other strike will hopefully come back with most or all of its planes in decent shape.
Recover aircraft.
Oh, we got 2 submarines. Meh. All right. Alright, light carrier gone. And that's all we did. I would have liked to have gotten the destroyer too. But nothing damaged, let alone lost. So that's good. Okay. So let's deal with the submarines. We're going to have some aircraft repair to do. Okay, the strike is waiting to recover. I thought I had given an order to actually switch to launch.
Spot the deck. Prepare for launching.
Appears not. What do we got repairing? 4. Okay, I can spare you. I'm going to take a chance and spare you. And I know this is going to seem really kind of counterintuitive. I'm going to bring AA guy down. Now, if I have to pop him back up, I will. But we have a lot of aircraft we need to fix. Are we going to fix them all? No. But I want to get some more availability. And it is entirely possible that I will not use any aircraft. It depends on the strength of the incoming attack, right? Like I can pop a defense order right now, and that'll give me 4 defense. If the incoming aircraft attack is 3 or 4, I don't need the anti-aircraft. I guess I should actually launch that ASW mission.
Launch aircraft.
That might be a good idea. And then let's queue up bringing up some more dive bombers. for the second ASW mission. And as soon as that is done, we'll respot and recover our first strike.
On my way.
Issue a dive bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a dive bomber squadron on the deck. Start engine.
Okay, so I'm going to need an anti-aircraft guy. We have a 5 strength attack coming in. Let's get defensive positions going. Let's get our damage control guy back up.
Ready, sir. Roger that.
So strength 5, currently at defense 4, and he will put us at strength 5. Defense 5, rather, for the carrier. So, and then he's got a 4 right behind him. There we go. He got to his AA station. It's going to be a while before these planes get here anyway. Okay, first torpedo squadron repaired.
Stand by to recover aircraft.
And we know that's a one. As long as this is a 1-2-4 package, we just recover, respot, and send the same exact planes back out. I just don't remember what the exact makeup was. I know I had this. I know I had that. I know I had jinking somewhere because I always have jinking somewhere. And then we had 1 squadron. We had 2 dive bomber squadrons doing something here. Is it lone? Faint? Okay, so safety insured, which means I'm probably going to go with this. Analysis of the current strategy suggests the attack will destroy 1 enemy target. So does that, because I have the heavy carrier locked, does that mean I'm going to destroy the heavy carrier? I bet it doesn't. But it's just going to kill the destroyer. What happens if I take Feint out and put Lone Wolf as a 10 attack card? Suggest that 1 to 2 will be destroyed. And an almost guarantee. I'll go with this. Okay, that works. Just for the chance that this is the last strike. Confirm. 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 Respot for launch is as soon as they're recovered. Okay, that's queued. What's the repair time on this? Less than 2 hours.
Clear the flight deck and prepare for takeoff. Launch aircraft.
Okay. We're at less than an hour for the recovery of ASW mission number 1. So have to queue recovery just as soon as they're up. I don't know if we're going to make it. That's 7 squadrons. I might lose two dive bombers right there. Oop. This defense expired at an inopportune time.
Double.
Sir, a member of your staff requires urgent medical aid. Have a DC team transport him to the infirmary.
Yeah, we're not going to make it. There's still 4 squadrons of torpedo bombers to get off. No way that's getting done in less than 21 minutes. Well, I messed that up. Okay, so his badges give us the efficiency in any aircraft, and that is what affects this cooldown. But now that this cooldown has started, is that still going to... Well, there's another attack coming in, so he's staying right where he is. So we will just shift him to the right to the next anti-aircraft slot. And boom. Only this one is on cooldown. He can man this one, and that gives us our point back. It took me quite a while to catch on to this, about how these anti-aircraft guns work. So now we're good. Good enough. I mean, there may be one casualty, like one fire, or one guy that has to go to medical. Boy, now I've got to sweat the load on the other ASW. There we go. Goodness. Let's put you in the hangar.
Stand by to recover aircraft.
So, Chicopee, how about some dive bombers that I let go into the drink? Thanks, Chicopee. Oh no, that is an escort attack. Ugh. And our escorts are only at 3. I could put another guy on AA, but that won't get him there.
Sir, a member of your staff requires urgent medical aid. Have a DC team transport him to the infirmary.
I think I'll just go ahead and use Saipan's cap. Damaged aircraft on deck. I got a malfunction guy. Okay. Yeah, let's put up Saipan. It's free cap. The carrier goes down and the destroyer does not. So I gotta go chase one destroyer. Which should be a pretty easy kill, and we still have almost 2 hours before dark. And we have plenty of fighters and dive bombers in the hangar. Let's go ahead and get this done. Shouldn't need to put 7 squadrons up. That's not what I meant to do. Attack of this maneuver is plus just to do a different kind of package. If number 3 is supportive, almost guarantees, ensures total destruction. And the 1-2.
Issue a fighter squadron on the deck.
And yes, I just realized if I had shifted the empty deck first, that would have been quicker. I know. By the time I realized it, this thing was active.
Issue a dive bomber squadron on the deck.
Sir, roger that.
Engineering's doing a nice job with those torpedo squadrons.
Issue a dive bomber squadron on the deck. We spot the deck. Prepare for launching.
Oh, nice. Should interrupt more incoming attacks after this one, at least for a little while.
Stand by to start engine.
Now this will end the mission, but the next thing we'd be doing is we'd be going right back into recovery to recover this airstrike. And that darn defense order is going to expire right when I don't want it to again. I think we'll get it back up in time.
Full focus now. Better get to it. On the double.
I think it'd be kind of a neat feature if you could overlap the same order using both windows and not stack them. That would be OP. But, you know, with a dedicated use of officers, a heavy investment in officers, I could have used these two officers for, you know, like if this was empty, and I could have put the DC in here too. Same effect, but no break, not even to, you know, do the clicking to assign an officer again. Just to maintain a completely steady, unbroken effect. Well, they're over there somewhere. Can't see them because of the rain. Both of these guys are newer officers. And instead of upgrading their cards, I want to upgrade at least Well, that doesn't look like they're attacking escorts to me. It's probably just the same cinematic for both of them. I want to get this guy to a 6 in air, and I want to get this guy to a 4 in Navy. At least. I recently unlocked the surprise attack order, but that requires a lot of skill, and so I want to get it so that I can use that particular card with just 2 officers instead of having to throw a whole bunch at it. Okay, then this should do it, and because there's not a torpedo bomber, it means we'll get a slightly different cinematic than what we usually get. Boom! I'm going to buff these crew members though first. So this guy's got the air badge. All I'm really looking for him is just a generalist. I don't think you can get air twice. I think it stops giving it to you. Yeah. Generalist is fine. That's what I was looking for. And then this guy, I'd kind of like for him to get nav. Only because I almost always have air fully manned. And the other department where I tend to often have multiple guys and normal steaming is nav. And if not nav, then probably engineering. Okay. That worked out. Another 10 renown, another 2 command points. And I got attacked because I'm up in this red area over here. That's enemy. You get attacked by random fleets over in this area. Okay, well, you know, just a little fleet sinking there, but there were a few decisions to be made. It was an interesting little fight, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the stuff I'm doing on this channel, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a sub. But at any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.